Hey friends, I want to share with you today this double page 12 by 12 scrapbook layout that I created. It is part of a workshop that is included in your registration fee when you attend one of my scrapbooking crops. And I will talk more about that in a little bit. But for right now, I just wanted to share with you the workshop that I created and show you the products that I used while making this workshop. So let me clear that away and let me show you the beautiful papers that go along with this suite. This particular workshop that I created uses the suite of products from the Painterly Pears collection. It has these beautiful double-sided papers, and I've got those all spread out for you here. It's got a coordinating stamp set. It's got these sparkle, low profile sparkle dots, and it also has a set of coordinating dies. The dies are meant to cut out the stamped images, but also to cut out the images from this pattern paper as well. All right, so let me bring back the layout, and we'll talk a little bit about how that was created and give you some stamping tips for the pear images as well. Okay, so let's take a look at this layout again. You may have noticed the different embellishment clusters in this, the banners down here, and also this large alphabet die set. Let me show you how each of those things were created. Okay, let me move this aside. I'll just keep it right there so we can still see it. But this particular pear right here, and this branch, and this crosshatch pattern were created with the die cut set. Now, like I mentioned, the dies are meant to cut out the images directly from your pattern paper, which makes card making and scrapbooking so easy, so quick and easy. And then of course we've got the larger pattern, or the larger pears as well, and there's a couple different shades of those pears as you can see there. All right, but here's one of them. I haven't die cut that out yet, but let me just show you how the die is meant to fit on there. So then you'll just take that over to your die cut machine and cut that image out. And then of course there is also the little stem piece. Here it is. There's a little stem piece that I've cut from the paper, and I will show you that die. Let me get all these out here. And here's the stem. It's a standalone die, and I just cut that out with the, it might be Mossy Meadow or Old Olive. I'm not really sure which one I used there. And oh, here it is. All right, the stem and the leaf pattern are cut from there as well. And then once you cut them out, then you can put them together, just adhere the stem on top of the pear, and then you're ready to use that in your project. And then I did not use this on this project, but there's also, this is meant to cut out the florals on this paper as well. And there is a stamp set that goes with that as well. Now, let's say you want pears that are a different color maybe than the green pears that are in here. Well, there is a stamp set. So let me clear this off and let me show you some of the different stamping techniques for the pears. So let's take a look at how to stamp these pears. I thought it would be fun to show you a couple of different combinations. And right now I am taking the pear and just stamping it full strength, and that is Darling Duckling that I am using on that one. And now let's take the outline stamp. There is an outline that goes with this. I don't think you really need it, truthfully. But if you wanted to stamp the outline on the pear, you can with darker color. In this case, I think I used early espresso. But see how beautiful that is? The shading from the stamp alone and just the one color. That in itself, I think, is really pretty. But let's look at how we add some different color variations to the pears. Let's go ahead and I will stamp that again with the Darling Duckling, or ink it up, I should say. Before I stamp it, I'm going to get one of my sponge daubers, and I'm picking up the Cajun Craze ink pad. And with the sponge dauber, I am just going to, first of all, make sure I've got the right side, and ink up just by pouncing on the very edge of that pear. And then when I stamp it, I will get that uh, different color, that different shading with the red and the yellow. And I think that makes it look more realistic if you see the pears in your grocery store that look like that. And again, we will stamp the outline on that image. All right, so let's clean it up. I just grabbed a baby wipe there to clean it up, and let's pick up, let's see, what color we're going to use now. Oh, how about this? How about if we use the lemon lime twist? And again, let's just ink it up and see what it looks like without adding any color to it. And lift up, and yeah, another gorgeous image. Doesn't that look just like the Bartlett pears or D'Angelo pears that you see in your produce section at the grocery store? Well, let's see what it looks like if we add a little of the crisp cantaloupe to it. Again, I just want to make sure I'm going to sponge the correct side, and then we will stamp that down. And actually, I think I forgot to ink up again with the lemon lime twist. I think that's kind of like a second generation. So let's try that again. We'll ink up with the lemon lime twist, grab our sponge dauber in our crisp cantaloupe ink, and pounce along the shaded edge where you want your shading of that pear, and then stamp and lift. And there we have that different shaded color on that pear. Now let's stamp another one, but this time we will add the shading in a different way using the rock and roll technique. So again, I'm grabbing my Darling Duckling ink, inking up the actual full pear, and then I'm going to take the old olive, and this time we're just going to, instead of sponging it, going to gently take the edge and roll it in the old olive ink. Now we'll take our sponge dauber and pounce along the edge so we don't get a real harsh line. And then now we have a different variation of the shading on the pears. Now I'm going to go ahead, and this time I decided to take the pecan pie and use the outline stamp to stamp the outlines of the pears. And then you'll see in a moment here I will bring in the little spots. There's some little spots in the stamp set, and put those little speckles on the pears, because when you get your pears from the grocery store, sometimes they have those little speckles on them. So that's what that little stamp set was for. All right, so I'm going to clean up the pear image, and for this next part I wanted to show you how I stamp the little that little floral image, the cluster of the 3 flowers right there. And that is an outline image, as you see here, and then it also has these tiny little speckles that are the center of the flowers. So I'm going to stamp that in on the Calypso Coral cardstock, and then I will add the centers to the flowers. And you see here that I goofed and I stamped it on the white, and I didn't mean to do that, so I'll just bring in the Calypso Coral, stamp on that, and then stamp the centers of those flowers. And don't forget that once you stamp all these images, your pears and those flowers, that they all can be then die cut out. They do have coordinating die cuts that go with them that you can then use with your die cutting machine. And there you have the little cluster. Let's talk about the title and the letters that we cut out. I did create that title on my Cricut that says "This Perfect Life," and the words life, I am using that Party Alphabet stamp set. I'm telling you what, if you are a scrapbooker, you need this die set. It cuts out the most fabulous letters that you can do so many different techniques with. I've seen people layer them up, put a different darker color underneath to create like a shadow, stamp on them, of course. You can emboss them and sand them. So many different fun things that you can use for these letters. They are perfect for your scrapbook titles. And in just a minute, I will bring in a couple of cards that I made using that alphabet set as well as the Perfectly Pears. To create the banners down at the bottom, I am using that Party Banners die set, and I'm using the three smallest the three smallest banner shapes to create those banners down below. That largest one, that Secret C shape in the middle, I cut that out of regular Secret C cardstock, and then I embossed it using an embossing folder and sanded it down a little bit. Here you see I'm bringing in the cards. There's one of the cards that was included if you chose it in the registration pack to do the cards. And here's the matching pear card that sort of matches this scrapbook workshop. The pears that I used on that were die cut directly from the pattern paper, and then I did use that banner on that card. In this card you see I've used the alphabet dies to help create the saying for that card. Now you might be wondering, what pictures do I have to put on this layout? Well, I just chose pictures from Mother's Day because for me that was a perfect day. So I'll just hold these up so you can see the different clusters. If you would like to recreate this layout for yourself, I have got a special bonus for you. With your qualifying order, you will receive the print and cut title along with the step-by-step PDF instruction guide completely free. It is my way of helping you make this project come together beautifully. Details are down below in the description box, so be sure to go and check that out. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Happy crafting, y'all. Bye-bye.